They came at 6:30 a.m. Sharp, smug in neon vests, measuring tape in hand. I stood barefoot on my porch, coffee half-poured, wearing nothing but flannel boxers, looking like a man about to be mugged by a highlighter-colored parade. One of them, clipboard clutched like a weapon, sunglasses too shiny for that early hour, jabbed a finger at the entrance to my ranch. Your main entrance violates subsection 12B. Effective immediately, we're blocking access, he announced, smirking like he'd just delivered the punchline to a joke I wasn't in on. He stapled the notice to my fence, and it fluttered in the wind like a flag of bureaucratic conquest. What they didn't know was this: the road they intended to seal off wasn't mine. It was theirs. Built across my land in the late 80s. A legal gray area none of them had ever bothered to examine. Until now. I didn't argue. I nodded, turned on my heel, and went back inside. I finished brewing my coffee with steady hands, but inside, a familiar itch, something only men who've dealt with misused power and silent wars know, began to simmer. I'd seen corruption up close in foreign lands, in briefing rooms where egos wrote checks soldiers paid for. But this? This was my own front yard. By 9 a.m., they'd gone full HOA theater. Trucks blocked my gravel drive diagonally. Cones, tape, even a folding table with a laminated book thick enough to stop a bullet. One woman in a sunnet sipped iced tea in a camping chair like she was hosting a yard sale, not staging a siege. I sat on my porch swing, Buster the old cattle dog at my feet, growling low. He knew what I knew. This wasn't about code. This was about control. And it was personal. A knock came a few hours later. 3 polite taps followed by that overly rehearsed authoritarian tone. Glenda Withers, president of the HOA. She smiled like intimidation came baked into her pearl necklace. Just wanted to make sure you received the notice, she cooed. You mean the gravel road your HOA built through my land back in the 80s without adjusting the property lines? She faltered. Well, this is about uniform code and safety. Your bylaws stop at my fence. I never signed them. Never paid. Grandfathered out? I checked twice. You'll hear from our legal department. Good. So will you. That night, I pulled out the old property survey from the gun safe. Lot 47A. My land. And right through the middle, the HOA's main access road. I made copies. Called my cousin Sasha, a real estate attorney with a vendetta against bureaucratic bullies. Called Rick, who installs gates. Called the assessor's office. By noon, Sasha confirmed it. They've been trespassing for years. Want to hit them with a usage fee? Nah. I want to build a toll gate. By 3 p.m., Rick and I were laying plans. A keypad gate, motion sensors, and a hand-painted sign. Access fee, $200 per day. Venmo or PayPal accepted. No exceptions. Glenda showed up the next morning in her Lexus, tires spitting gravel. What is this? This is obstruction. No, ma'am. This is private property. You're welcome to pay the toll. She turned red. You're charging us for our own road? No. I'm charging you to use my land. The road's just along for the ride. She sputtered and stormed off. Day 2, the gate was done. Glossy cedar posts, keypad on one side, motion sensor on the other. A sign hung proud, private easement, $200 per day. Even HOA golf carts included. Glenda came back with backup. 2 board members. One with a GoPro strapped to his chest, the other wielding a tape measure like a sword. This is a violation of the peace accord, she said, narrating like it was a court drama. Unless that's a notarized agreement recorded with the county, it's as valid as monopoly money, I said. She threatened lawsuits. I sent her a cease and desist through Sasha citing trespass, zoning violations, and a retroactive compensation clause that made me chuckle. Cars began rerouting. Some paid. Others grumbled. I made $600 that week. Then they retaliated. A fake farmer's market appeared, scented candles, crocheted toilet covers, sad clarinet solos. It wasn't commerce. It was a blockade. So I hosted a petting zoo. Diesel the goat tried to eat their laminated protest signs. The kids loved it. HOA hated it. They claimed noise ordinance violations. I quoted agricultural exemption laws. Posted them on a banner. Then the media showed up. A local journalist saw through the spin. Veteran charges HOA to cross land they don't own. The story exploded online. Drone footage of Diesel eating a cease and desist went viral. 2 board members resigned. One left a note, You were right. She's a tyrant. Also, the wine fountain? Totally illegal. Turns out, the koi pond, tennis courts, and part of the clubhouse sat on my land too. Sasha got it reassessed. Back taxes. Violations. Possible rent. Glenda tried to spin it, but the walls closed in. A man in a suit offered me $10,000 to remove the gate. Tell Glenda to add 6 more zeros, I said. Then came drone footage on a flash Dravino note. It showed more violations. Sasha smiled. We called the assessor. Then the emergency board meeting. Glenda tried to paint me as a villain. I brought truth. Sasha brought a binder. When she read the koi pond's funding labeled as wildlife water feature, the room erupted. The vote to remove Glenda passed. 63-3. 1 abstention. I didn't need a statue. I got a signed apology and settlement. The gate stayed not for tolls, but as a reminder. 6 weeks later, peace. Glenda moved. Kids brought cookies. Neighbors waved. Then Sasha found an old zoning map. The HOA never finalized a property adjustment. I still own part of the land under the tennis courts. 2 decades of uncollected rent. You sure you want to poke this bear again? The assessor asked. It's not poking if the bear's already on my porch, I said. A new HOA letter arrived, perfumed, dramatic, desperate. Another emergency meeting. This time, Sasha delivered the final blow. Fraudulent purchases, zoning lies, koi pond cover-ups. Glenda dropped the mic. The vote stripped the HOA of authority over non-members. Sasha got new clients. I got peace. And the gate? Still there. Just a keypad, a sign, and a story no one in the neighborhood would ever forget. A monument not to power, but to the people who refuse to be trampled by it. Because on Lot 47A, the gate never really opens unless I say it does. They came at 6:30 a.m. Sharp, smug in neon vests, measuring tape in hand. I stood barefoot on my porch, coffee half poured, wearing nothing but flannel boxers, looking like a man about to be mugged by a highlighter-colored parade. One of them, clipboard clutched like a weapon, sunglasses too shiny for that early hour, jabbed a finger at the entrance to my ranch. Your main entrance violates subsection 12B. Effective immediately, we're blocking access, he announced, smirking like he'd just delivered the punchline to a joke I wasn't in on. He stapled the notice to my fence, and it fluttered in the wind like a flag of bureaucratic conquest. What they didn't know was this: the road they intended to seal off wasn't mine. It was theirs. Built across my land in the late 80s. A legal gray area none of them had ever bothered to examine. Until now. I didn't argue. I nodded, turned on my heel, and went back inside. I finished brewing my coffee with steady hands, but inside, a familiar itch, something only men who've dealt with